In this video, you will learn how to create a test using test generation software. You will export it in Blackboard format. Then you will import it into the Blackboard Pool Manager. Finally, you'll create a test using the Test Manager and then deploy it. Here we're using ExamView, which is bundled with some of the course technology textbooks, and we're just going to walk it through the quick test wizard. And you can see there are several banks for different courses that I teach. I'm just going to choose one and then choose a couple of chapters for this pool. And then you can see the different questions that are available. For this one, I'm going to choose all of the multiple choice questions and then a few of the matching questions. And then for matching, it will set those up in two different groups. And then that's all there is to it. You click Finish, and here is the test. You can scroll through. I highly recommend that you read all of the questions and ensure that the correct answer has been inserted, because if you've ever worked with textbook testing materials, you know that they make mistakes. Now we're going to click on File. We'll go to Export and then Blackboard 6 to 7 format. If you're using a different version of Blackboard, of course you would choose that format. Now we're going to find us a drive and folder to save it in, and you need to give it a descriptive name. And then click Save. Now you need to give it a name that you can recognize in Blackboard, and I generally put Pool on the end of it because we have to import it into the Pool Manager. Now, a lot of people also like to save it in ExamView format, which is has a .tst extension. So if you would like to do that, again, find you a drive and folder location and go ahead and save it in that format as well. That way, if you need to make changes to it, you can make the changes in ExamView and then re-export it to Blackboard. Now we are going to go over to the control panel in Blackboard, and you need to click on Pool Manager under Assessment. And we will click on the Import button. You need to browse for the file. And this one, I believe, was testexample.zip. You can see it's in a .zip format. So we'll hit Open there and then Submit. Depending on the number of questions, it may take it a few moments to import it. And you can see that this one imported okay. If not, you might need to repeat the process. Now, we will want to go over to Test Manager, and we are going to add a test. But first of all, we're going to remove the current test 1 because we want to replace it. Then you need to give the test a name. For description, I usually try to put what chapters it covers, but you can put whatever you'd like there. And then you need to enter some instructions for the student. And then you will hit Submit. Now, for this example, we are going to choose questions from a question pool or assessment so that we can utilize the pool that we imported a few moments ago. And then you click on the pool. And when you scroll down, it will show you the question type choices. And for this one, we are just going to click on multiple choice, although we did have some matching in there as well. And I'm going to enter a point value of 2. And then hit search. Now at this point I'm not going to go through the whole process. There were 80 questions in it. So what you would do now, I'm going to select all, but you would need to go through and deselect the questions you don't want to use. You could also do this in exam view. There's several different ways of doing it. So anyway, I would need 50 questions. I would continue this process until I have my 50 questions, and then I would go down and click on submit. And then you are given a preview of the test in the test canvas. And if we scroll through here, obviously I'm going to have more than 50 questions because I didn't remove all of them, but it's just for illustration. Now we're going to add a test a different way. We're still going to use that same pool, but this time we're going to enter a random block, and then the computer will choose 50 random questions from that 80 question pool. Some teachers do this to try to help out with test security, since students like to print those out and distribute them to their friends. So this random block can be used to try to alleviate or to improve test security. So you can see you go back and you choose random block instead of question pool or assessment. And then it shows you the number of questions available in the pool. And you could leave all selected, or you can select individual question types. That's up to you. And then you come down and tell it how many questions you want, and then the points per question. Please make sure the questions in the pool are accurate before you do this. Make sure the answers are correct, because if not, you'll have to go back in and correct them in the pool if the students find mistakes when they actually take the test. And then you'll click OK. And now let's go back over to the course. And we're going to go to the Tests and Quizzes button. And we will deploy a test. Remember, you have to go into Edit View to do that. And we're going to click on Add Test. And then we're going to use the one that's going to pull questions from the random block. So we'll click on that. And then click Submit. Then you're going to click OK. Remember, you have to modify the test options because it will not automatically be available to the students. So you can scroll down and we're going to take a look at some of these options. If you're not familiar with them, just set you up a sample test and play around with these different options. We are going to make it available. You can see that you can force completion of the test. That way they have to complete it the first time it's launched. They can't save it and resume. You can set a timer. You have the date and time restrictions like you do in so many other Blackboard options. You can also require the students to enter a password to be able to access the test. Generally, you do want to include it in the gradebook score calculations. As far as feedback, some instructors will show them the submitted answers and correct answers. Others do not for test security reasons. That's pretty much up to you. And then you can randomize the questions. You can also present the questions one at a time to try to prevent students from trying to, print the test out and distribute it to others. Once you set all of the options, then you're going to click Submit. And then finally, we will go over and just look at the test. This is the view that the student would see. And if you scroll down, you can see that it pulled questions randomly from that block. Each student's test would be ordered differently and may be comprised of different questions.